worthy colleagues of SAM Corporate and CSO Global, and honorable persons who have joined us in this webinar. I welcome you all and would like to submit that economic growth that compromises on environment and social well-being becomes lopsided and unstable. A sustainable, stable, and inclusive economy thus depends very much on how robust and responsible is the mobilization and allocation of capital, the key function of the financial sector. Friends, financial institutions play a very, very important role and are imperative to sustainable development. You just saw, and people are still struggling in US fighting the fires. Now it is heard that money was diverted to harness fish ponds, and there is no money left to invest in extinguishing fires. The fire tenders are running empty. The ponds are having a lot of fish, but there is nothing to save human beings. Now that sort of lopsided development, even in advanced country like US, has left more than 20,000 houses totally burnt out and $8 billion worth of loss, and almost 11 people have lost their lives. So this BRSR statement, that gives a sort of deep insight into what the companies are doing, what these banks, which are, harnessing a lot of public money, are doing towards saving this Mother Earth. We are extremely honored that to dwell on this subject, we have the esteemed presence of Shri Tangsale, Mohan Tangsale ji, who has traveled overnight from Canada to be, chief guest here. Shri Mohan Tangsale does not need any introduction. He has been CEO of Indian Banks Association. Before that, he was the CMD of Central Bank of India, one of the biggest nationalized banks in India. The one-line introduction about Mr. Mohan Tangsale is that he is the pioneer of responsible banking in India. I will leave it at this and let his speech disclose how concerned he is about ESG and then about BSR statement being submitted regularly by corporates who are whether top 1000 or not. Over to Shri Mohan Tangsale ji.
Thank you so much, Mrs. Sajdev, for I'm humbled by your introduction. So it's indeed an honor and privilege to join you today for this webinar on BRSR, its implication, implementation challenges, and adopting technology solutions. Let me tell you, as Mr. Sajdev said, I traveled from Canada to India. The first thing which I observed in the morning while in Mumbai from my residence, that there is a huge difference in the pollution which I could see in the early morning from my 31st floor and what I've been seeing in US or Canada. And I think this is the most important concern that Sam and CSO are really handling. I'm very happy about it. They're doing a great job. So before we dive into the discussions, I would like to extend my gratitude to the organizing partners, CSO Global in collaboration with SAM Corporate, uh, along with all the speakers and the participants who have taken the time to join in this important conversation. Well, the activities actually started way back in 2012 when the BRR was Business Responsibility Report was released, and it was more or less a voluntary. Nevertheless, we in the Indian Banks Association worked on that with the GIZ Germany and brought out the National Voluntary Guidelines for Responsible Financing in 2017. And thus, financial institutions are equally engaged. Uh, but in the recent years, with the increasing environmental and the social challenges, the role of businesses in driving sustainability is no longer optional. It's essential. In fact, I mean, I would say that today every global investor first looks for what is your credit scoring on the ESG and then takes a call. So in India, this responsibility is being guided by the Business Responsibility and Sustainability Reporting Framework, which is introduced by SEBI recently in 2024, to ensure the transparency, accountability, and ethical governance in business operations. This framework, introduced by SEBI, is a pivotal step in guiding Indian businesses towards more transparent, accountable, and ESG focused practices. It not only enhances the corporate responsibility but also helps uh, align organizations with India's sustainability and net zero goals. BRSR is not just another compliance requirement, it is a critical pathway to align businesses with India's sustainable development goals and a global vision of net zero future. It represents a shift from the shareholder driven practices to the stakeholder driven practices, emphasizing the triple bottom line people, planet, and profit. And thus, it's extremely important that the organizations, the corporate sector, the financial sector accept these guidelines in the letter and spirit and try to see that by doing that, how can you really contribute towards improving the ESG factors and reaching to the global vision of net zero future. Well, this webinar is extremely timely, I will say, and the adoption of BRSR is brought with its several implications. While it paves the way for a greener, more responsible corporate ecosystem, its implementation comes with its own set of challenges. Businesses, large and small, are grappling with it. I think the biggest challenge is the data collection because gathering accurate ESG data across complex supply chains, uh, data management, undigitized data, fragmented data points, and the onerous task of compiling and harmonizing data from different formats and sizes are real complexities that the companies face. And I'm very sure that Sam and CSO Global are going to give the helping hand. Along with this, the compliance, readiness, maintaining transparency and consistency with global frameworks like the Global Reporting Initiative, the Task Force on Climate Related Disclosures, Sustainability Accounting and Standards Board. I think these are very, very important guidance which is available globally, and we all must see that, of course, the BRSR has adopted most of this, and these regulations for the corporate sector, they will take care of the stakeholders' interests in totality. Well, this webinar aims to provide insights and practical solutions to address these challenges by the end of today's session. We hope to equip you with the knowledge, strategies, and technological tools necessary for effective BRSR implementation. Technology has tremendous role to ensure that it's not only that you are able to comply, but you are also able to monitor and make sure that you are contributing in letter and spirits. And thus, the technology will help you automate data collection, enable real-time monitoring, ensure transparency, and generate insights. So technology is not just an enabler, but a game changer in the journey towards responsible business practices. Technology alone cannot drive success. It requires a combination of leadership, commitment, employee engagement, and collaboration among industry peers. Today's event is an opportunity to share experiences, learn from the best practices, and discuss innovative solutions that can make BRSR compliance seamless. I encourage all the participants to actively engage, ask questions, and exchange ideas. Together, we can create a roadmap of resilient and responsible businesses that contribute positively to the society and the government. I'm very sure we all, as individuals, come across these situations at different levels and always feel, no, this needs an improvement. And thus, probably your understanding, your contribution towards this particular initiative will be extremely helpful. So So, as we embark on today's discussion, let's remember that implementing BRSR is more than fulfilling a mandate. It's all about a sustainable future for our companies, communities, and the country. Let this webinar be a stepping stone towards innovation, responsibility, and excellence in the realm of business sustainability reporting. I once again thank Mr. Hargovind Sajdev, who has been uh, chasing me maybe from my US and Canada days, and the CSO Global and Sam for giving me this opportunity. And I'm very sure this webinar will contribute a lot for the participants. Thank you very much.